James Van Der Beek, best known for his role in Dawson's Creek, recently shared a powerful, heartfelt reflection on his battle with colorectal cancer, offering a deep look into how the illness impacted not just his own life, but also the lives of his family. In a poignant birthday message, he detailed the emotional and physical toll the diagnosis took on him and his loved ones, underscoring the immense strain the ordeal placed on his wife, Kimberly, and their children. He described how facing such a severe illness made him confront his own mortality in ways he had never imagined, pushing him to reevaluate what truly matters in life. Van Der Beek's cancer journey began in 2022, when he was diagnosed with stage 2 colorectal cancer. For a man who had built a career on playing the sensitive yet strong characters on screen, this diagnosis marked a sudden personal shift. The news was both shocking and terrifying, as colorectal cancer is often associated with older adults, and Van Der Beek, at the time, was in his early 40s, a relatively young age for such a diagnosis. The revelation of his condition forced him to pause and reflect, not just on the realities of his own life, but on how his health crisis might impact his wife and their 5 children. Kimberly, who married Van Der Beek in 2010, found herself thrust into the role of caretaker, a role she never anticipated having to take on for her husband. The emotional weight of the situation was enormous, and she too had to come to terms with the potential loss of the man she loved. While she was strong in her support of James, the fear of what might lie ahead was palpable. Together, they navigated the physical and emotional challenges of treatment, and for Kimberly, the days were often filled with a deep sense of dread as they awaited the results of scans and tests. Van Der Beek's journey through treatment was not an easy one. He underwent chemotherapy, which brought with it all the expected side effects: fatigue, nausea, and a weakening of his body, but also an intense emotional struggle. The physical toll was clear, but it was the psychological toll that proved to be just as difficult. There were moments when he found himself nose to nose with the reality of death, moments where he was forced to face the possibility that he might not survive. He described these moments as being some of the most intense of his life, where he was forced to ask himself deep philosophical questions about his existence and his legacy. What would his children remember about him? Had he done enough to teach them the values he hoped to impart? Was there still time to show them the man he wanted them to know? These existential questions weighed heavily on Van Der Beek, as they do on many people facing a life-threatening illness. He acknowledged that cancer has a way of making one feel profoundly small in the face of something so vast and uncontrollable. The fear of death looms large during treatment, and in many ways, it had a way of forcing him to become more present with his family, even as his body felt weaker and more fragile. He began to cherish the simple moments: family dinners, bedtime stories with his children, and the quiet moments spent with Kimberly, realizing how precious these everyday experiences were. But perhaps the most transformative aspect of Van Der Beek's illness was the way it deepened his connection to his family. His children, too young to fully comprehend the magnitude of the situation, instinctively offered their support in their own ways. They showered him with love and affection, reminding him of what truly mattered: the joy of being a parent, the need to be present for his family, and the importance of love in overcoming any challenge. Even though Van Der Beek found himself in a battle for his life, he found strength in his family's support, a reminder that he was not alone in this journey. Through it all, Van Der Beek came to understand that cancer, while terrifying and life-altering, also offered a unique opportunity for growth. He began to see the experience as a catalyst for deeper introspection, a time to re-evaluate his priorities and to live more intentionally. Before his diagnosis, life had often been consumed with the demands of his career and the constant push to achieve more. But in the face of his illness, he found himself more focused on the present moment. He started to embrace the idea that the true meaning of life wasn't found in accolades or achievements, but in the connections he made with others, particularly his family. One of the most important lessons Van Der Beek learned through this experience was the significance of vulnerability. He realized that his diagnosis allowed him to shed the armor he had worn for much of his life, the facade of invincibility and control that many people, especially those in the public eye, feel the need to project. In being open about his battle with cancer, he discovered a sense of freedom and authenticity that had previously been missing. His willingness to share his struggles with his fans, his family, and his friends opened up new channels of support, allowing others to see him not as a celebrity or an actor, but as a man facing a shared human experience. Van Der Beek's reflections also touched on the power of faith during times of crisis. While his religious beliefs had always been important to him, the cancer journey led him to lean more heavily on his spirituality. He found comfort in the idea that there was a larger force guiding his path, something bigger than the trials of daily life and the challenges of his treatment. In his birthday message, he expressed gratitude for the time he had been given, and for the opportunity to continue living and loving despite the adversity he faced. This sense of spiritual peace, he noted, helped him remain hopeful even when the future seemed uncertain. Despite the emotional and physical hardships, Beek emerged from his cancer battle with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. He expressed his gratitude for the love and support of his wife, Kimberly, and their children, and emphasized how important it was to cherish every moment. He also highlighted the significance of resilience, not just as a personal trait, but as a collective force that can be drawn upon in times of crisis. He hoped that his experience would inspire others facing their own battles to find strength, vulnerability, and hope in the face of adversity. Now, looking back on his journey, Beek is not only grateful for his own survival, but for the lessons learned and the relationships strengthened through the process. His battle with cancer, while harrowing and difficult, served as a reminder that life is fragile, and it is the connections we make with others, the love we give and receive, and the moments of joy we experience that define the richness of our lives. The lessons he learned, about vulnerability, faith, resilience, and the importance of family, are the ones he now holds dear as he moves forward in life. In sharing this intimate glimpse into his experience, Beek has given others a rare and valuable perspective on the realities of facing mortality, the importance of family in times of crisis, and the transformative power of love and support.